Thank you. Hi there, everybody. Thank you, all 8 of you that said hello back. That was very kind. Everybody staying cool today? Yeah. You're all liars, and I love it. Okay. I'm sure we're all excited for another story, but I want you to pick the story. Shout out the name of your favorite story. Go! I'm sorry, did I hear Princess and the Frog? I love that. It's so good. It's just a classic. The rest of you, I couldn't make out at all, so I guess I'll just pick this story. It's fine. This story is a beloved bedtime classic, and Disney already has the rights to it, so we won't be sued. Yeah. This story is Cinderpool. Yeah, that was an applause cue. Not a good start, people. That's not real. All right, moving on. It's me and Wolvie. Once upon a time. Did I cue you yet? No. We're all going to say it together, except for her. You already ruined your chance. All right, everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cinderpool lived in a big mansion with her step professor and step mutants. The biggest of those step mutants, Colossus, was always making up silly rules around the house like, stop putting your initials on other people's leftovers in the fridge. And for the love of Feige, stop hanging your underwear from the ceiling fan. What is wrong with you? Have you no... Anyway, the other step mutant, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who has 2 fans here, it's great, was always texting and rolling her eyes. She was so Gen Z. Both of these step mutants were very jealous of Cinderpool because Cinderpool had a much, much larger fan base than they did. No, it's fine. I'm just going to go get Colossus to do his show. One day, an expendable and non-union extra went running in front of the mansion screaming. King Thanos was going to have the biggest battle of Phase 3. And we all know that was the last good phase. Cinderpool desperately wanted to go to the battle, but Colossus said,
"No. It is too dangerous, and you are not a good part of the team."
Then he rips apart Cinderpool's favorite costume, and Negasonic blasts it with her powers. It was so cool, so Gen Z, so on fleek, no cap, Sigma, Skibbity, Ohio. I don't know what they mean either. Cinderpool was devastated, vulnerable and exposed as he stumbled out onto the mansion grounds, weeping for dramatic effect. But then he looked up and saw, beginning to form, a magical golden sparkle circle. And out of that sparkle circle stepped his very hairy god mutant, Wolverine. Now you go through the circle, Wolvie. Yes! Hey! Oh, fairy god mutant Wolverine! I desperately want to go to the big battle, but my mean step mutants destroyed my costume.
Shut up!
He said lovingly.
What?
I'm doing the story, Wolvie. I need a costume to go to the battle. You're my fairy god mutant. Do something to a pumpkin with your wand.
I'm not gonna do anything with a pumpkin and a wand. Just get another costume and stop writing me into these stories. God.
Well, with that sage and mildly Australian life advice, Cinderpool ran to the wardrobe department, grabbed a new, freshly laundered costume, and headed to the big battle. He was late because he had to read every page of the terms and conditions for Disney Plus. It's important. But when he got there, the Avengers were winning. Captain America looked so good in those pants. He looked for his fairy god mutant Wolverine, who was...
I'm going to Pim's.
You know what, it's fine. Disney didn't have the rights to him at this point anyway. Cinderpool surveyed the battlefield and saw on the stairs of the alien spaceship a single glove. He went over, picked that glove up, waved at this fairly expensive camera high. It was a beautiful glove. It was gold, encrusted with colorful jewels. There were 6 of them, but I don't think that's relevant. He said, I wonder who this fits, and put it on. After some buzzing, whirring, and clicking, it was a perfect fit. But then all the Avengers see and they just start screaming, no, Cinderpool, take that thing off. It's too dangerous. Thor started crying, and they all shouted, Cinderpool, do not snap. So you know what Cinderpool did. That's right, Cinderpool snapped. Both physically and mentally. Does it all the time, too. Just going over and over. People are disappearing, reappearing. Everybody's crying. Tony Stark said, I love you 3,000 times. It was very expensive for the VFX department. But eventually, Cinderpool stopped. Everybody was back. And Cinderpool had saved the universe. Then, all the Avengers tackle Cinderpool to the ground, rip the glove right off of his hand, blah, blah, blah. Years later, they remake the film. They AI Tony Stark's head onto my beautiful body, and it goes on to become the most profitable film in the Feige universe, the FCU. But it's okay, because Cinderpool went on to start his own film franchise, which will break box office records. And then they had to invite Cinderpool back to the Avengers Endgame 2, Electric Boogaloo. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Cinderpool became the belle of the Avengers Ball. So glad you enjoyed that story. It was one of my favorites to tell. Thank you all for joining me for Story Time with Deadpool. You're all so great. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Just, it's great. You love some of those jokes. They were just killing you. Bye, everybody.